Okay, and I am going to share my screen again. There we go. All right. So this is now the 4th monthly club that I have hosted, and I do have a lot of fun doing these presentations. And I tend to think quite a lot, quite often late at night when I can't sleep. I'm thinking up things to tell you at the next club. So if you come up with something that you would really like to see in one of these club meetings, maybe it's a technique or you have a question about something, please feel free to either email me or pop that in the Facebook group or tell me today. I don't mind. And I will be happy to weave that into a future club. All right, so the monthly sewing project or technique, that is what I do each time. So we have made humbug bags last time, and thank you all so much for making humbug bags, those of you that did. And then we did the towels the 1 month, because my husband gets really irritated. We put our towels over the bar on the stove, and they fall off, they slip off real easy, and then he has to bend down and pick them up off the floor and he gets mad. So I thought would be an ideal opportunity to put that nice thing at the top. And if any of you didn't see how to do that, I'm more than happy to send you previous club links. And there are links to YouTube videos where I saw that project, which I thought was pretty good. And then what else have we done? I'm trying to think now. We did the towels and we did the humbug bags. Anyway, it'll come to me. So I know that I am busy moving things around in my closet at home. I did a class with a lady in Calgary last week. She's a lovely lady, actually. And let me just put it back to my face. I was ready to move on, and then now I've got sidetracked on something else. Her name is Janice Ashton, and she is a Palmer Pletch lecturer, and she does these videos. If anybody's interested, just let me know and I'll give you her website. And she won't be doing any more now till the fall. Or I don't think so, maybe she's got one more. And she was talking about the great closet cleanup. And she talked about how to look at your closet and make decisions on what can stay and what can go. And she literally had boxes on the floor, and she was taking things off a garment rack and tossing them in the various boxes. Keep, or toss, or maybe. And it was really quite good. So I think because of the change of seasons, many of us are moving things. I know I've taken all my long sleeve tops and put them in my walk-in closet, and I've taken all my short sleeve tops and put them in my drawers that are quite close to where I get dressed in the morning. And I'm also looking at shoes and thinking I can put the boots and those kind of shoes away and start taking the sandals out. So you might be thinking along those lines, and you might be saying, well, what can I do towards the summer? And I thought maybe you might like to start thinking about a swimsuit. And for those of you that have made the bralette with me, or made bras or bralettes and panties elsewhere, it is really a very, very short hop, skip, and a jump to making a swimsuit. So I actually made these for my trip to Mexico in January, and the hot pink pants is exactly the same pattern that I use for my panties. And that is the smoothie panty pattern from Jan Bones in Winnipeg. And all I did was use that pink lycra, and I lined it with swimsuit lining, which is just another slightly thinner lycra. And then the top is the Watson bra. And that is a bralette. And I just made it with one layer of scuba, and then this is black lycra under it. And then on the other side, that is a lycra print, and I made that one with also the Watson bra, but I made a join in the frame because that gave it a little bit more body. And again, this one I lined. But we won't get too carried away about swimsuits. What you might like to do is let me know if you'd like a class on swimsuits, and I'm more than happy to accommodate you. I've made several more, I've cut several more out, and I'm having a lot of fun. Okay, so as I'm looking at things to see what I can do for you guys, I found this very interesting little YouTube video on how to fix zippers. And I think that's something that, you know, certainly mystifies me. And I watched the video, it's not all that long, and she shows how to shorten a nylon, a metal, and a molded plastic zipper. And I didn't know that was the name of it, but these zippers here that are quite a lot thicker than your regular nylon zipper, she actually shows you how to shorten those zippers. And I found it a very interesting video. So if you want to, you can scribble that link down now. But once you get this video, you can actually click on it. And I do believe it works. If I click on it now, yep, there it does. Once you've got your video up, somebody there, this is just the ad. Let's just see, it'll let us skip the ads in a minute. Come on. Come on. Okay. Okay, so you get the idea, and I will close that down. All right, so you can just click on the link when you've got the video link that I will send to you in the next few days if you want to watch that video. So as I say, you can copy it down now, but you don't need to. It's coming with the video. And then somebody that I have long admired, and I have a feeling that that was somebody that is wanting to come into the group. So let me just stop sharing. Yes. Hi, Donna Mae. Welcome to the club. And hello, Donna Mae. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
I'm late because I got busy imagining what I was going to do in my sewing room with all my bits and pieces.
Okay. You may have to mute yourself because there's a buzzing noise. But
Yes.
We are busy looking at my screen right now, and I'm talking about Johanna. Now, Johanna lives in Sweden, and I think her surname is Lundström or something like that. And she is somewhat of an expert, not somewhat, she's more than somewhat of an expert on cover hem machines and serging. And she has also written a book about how to sew jeans. And I remember teaching, showing how to sew jeans. And if you look at your jeans and you look at the hemline, it's actually chain stitch. They stitch the hems and maybe some other parts of jeans, commercially made jeans. They actually use chain stitch because it's so much quicker and so much stronger. In any event, I was just browsing around, surfing on the internet, and I came across Johanna. And so I thought I'd mention her to you. Her website is called thelaststitch.com. And she's got a very, very, very helpful book on cover stitching, and it is a PDF book. So you don't have to pay shipping on the book. You just download it to your computer. You can print it if you want, but you can keep it on your computer and read it there. And I found that book extremely helpful. Anyway, as I was browsing and having a look at a couple of her videos on YouTube, she's got lots of free videos on YouTube. And you will find her YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube, just look for The Last Stitch and you'll find her. But she has a brand new pattern. All right, she's got some patterns. Obviously, it's very cold in Sweden. So some of them are more sort of workout things. She's got a book on active wear. And trust me, ladies, I'm not being paid by her to promote her. I just find her very, very helpful. And so I'm sharing it with you. And her pattern, the new one, is called the girly top. Now, I don't know if GURLI is what we would think girly is in Canada or America or wherever we are, but I really liked the look of it. So again, it's a PDF. So I bought it, downloaded it, printed it out, stuck all the pages together, and I made this red and burgundy striped top. And I did that on Saturday or Sunday this weekend. So I had a lot of fun, and I thought I'd just share that with you because she really is very informative, and she's got some really, really good points, especially for people who are struggling with cover hemming and they're getting skipped stitches and just can't seem to make their cover hem sing. So she can certainly help you with that. So I thought I'd mention her. And then I also today watched a video from Embroidery Online. It used to be called OESD, and it's still, if you look up OESD, you'll find them. And they did a presentation on tiled embroideries. So I wondered, have any of you done tiled embroideries? Anybody? You can put it in the chat box, or you can put it on the group, the Facebook group. This is one I did. I really, really like this peacock. In fact, I love peacocks. They're just very noisy creatures. And I embroidered this a while back. Guessing it must have been 2 to 3 years ago, perhaps. And it was 36 separate hoopings, if you count the lime green border, as well as all these blocks. And it was a window pane tile. So again, if you click on this sort of browny orangey colored writing here, it will take you to the video they did live today. And they talked about tiled embroideries and what you should and shouldn't do. And they did quite a bit of promotion of their designs as well, but I just let that go in one ear and out the other. So you can do the same if you want. And they promoted their club and so on. But they did have some good information about stabilizing and what you need to do for this kind of embroidery. And I did want to mention, though, that the link expires on the 12th of May. So if you do want to watch this free video, you'd perhaps be best to do it within the next week. Okay? All right. And I'm not hearing anything from anybody, so I am guessing that you don't have questions. Please just, oh, there is a question in the chat box. Let me have a look. Okay, Carol said she hadn't done a tile thing. That one, the peacock, is the only one I've ever done. I don't have any other tiled embroidery designs. Karen, have you done one? I kind of think you may have. Yeah. You have done one.
Yeah, sorry, I was having a hard time getting myself off mute and getting the video working again. But yeah, I've done several. I'm actually a fan. And I've got a large one on my machine right now, just embroidering out the gazillion pieces. But I love your peacocks. I've seen it on the wall behind you, and I'm so glad you mentioned it as to the group. It's nice, very nice.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do with you now, we're moving on from tiled designs. That was just sort of like a little extra, because I sometimes find as I'm sort of out and about in my sewing room, really, I will come across something and I'll think, gee, that's useful. And then I like to share those things with you guys. It may not be where you're currently at, and then you can just, like I say, let it go in one ear and straight out the other. But that way you might find some of the stuff that I come across fairly useful. Okay, so the project we're going to do today is how to make an infinity scarf. Now, you may well have done this before, and I'm actually going to show you how to make the one on the left with this pretty peach polka dot fabric. The one on the right, I actually made one for myself and one for Karen. I don't know about you, Karen, but I found it awfully scratchy. It wasn't a good choice of fabric. So if you want to ditch that, Karen, or use the fabric for something else, you're welcome to do that.
You're
All
right.
right.
scratchy
So
thing,
what
but
was that?
it is a bit scratchy. You're right, but I get so many compliments on it. I keep wearing it anyway and just go scratch, scratch.
Okay. Now I want to show you this one that I'm wearing is a similar problem. And I'm actually going to take it off, and I'm probably going to get all tied up with my headphones. So I'll pull them out quickly and put them back in again. All right. This one, I think, is the same problem. It's got, and I wonder if you can see it. Can you see the little bits of metallic in it? All right, those metallic bits are scratchy. And so I actually, can you see my neck is actually a little bit red because I've been wearing this for about an hour before the club. And I now know why this was on one of those pockets that hangs on the door, and I keep all my scarves in those pockets, and I couldn't remember why I hadn't worn it before. Now I've remembered, it scratches. Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint, and I will show you a few more things on here. There are a couple more that I've made. The blue one is a lovely soft chiffon fabric. It's a poly chiffon, it's polyester, and it's so soft, it doesn't scratch at all. And I do believe that I bought that at one of the sewing shows. I honestly have no recollection which one it was. Might have been in Toronto, I'm not sure. And the one on the right, the black and white one, I actually wear that quite a bit. That one is again a polyester chiffon. And I bought that when I was in England, somewhere in London. I bought that and it really is lovely and soft to wear as well. And the how you make it, you may already know, but bear with me and you can share some of your hints and tips in a moment. But I just want to go through some of the pictures I have. The one on the left, the black and cerise and orange colors, that again was another piece of fabric that I bought when I was in London. And it was really quite expensive. That little piece of fabric and all of it went into that infinity scarf, cost me £16. I must have really liked the fabric. Actually, I do. I really like that fabric. And because my mathematical skills are not all that good, I don't think I fully realized how much I was paying in Canadian dollars. But any event, I wear it quite a bit. And again, it's a polyester chiffon. It looks a little bit like silk, but it's not silk, it's polyester. Okay, and as I say, I love it. We'll talk about dimensions in a moment, but that one actually has dimensions that work for me. Whereas the one on the right, that one, I love the coloring. I actually bought this piece of polyester chiffon with all sorts of lovely, yummy colors in it. I bought that from Wendy at House of Stitches in Saskatchewan, in Humboldt, Saskatchewan. And I do believe I bought 1 meter or 2 meters because I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I thought that it might end up as a sarong. Well, that one, if you look at it, it's very full. And it doesn't work because there's just too much scarf going on. So we'll talk about that in a bit. And I probably will take that and unpick it, cut it in half, and end up with 2 scarves that are of a much better size. Okay, now the scarf on the left, you don't have to start from scratch with a piece of fabric. This one was actually a scarf I purchased in South Africa. And again, it's a polyester, but it's got a slightly different feel to it. It doesn't feel quite as, what's the word I can use? It's very soft. I think it's maybe got a little bit of another blend in it. So maybe it's got a little bit of cotton in it. And it was a long, skinny, rectangular scarf. And you know, it caught on doorknobs. It got little pulls in the fabric, you know, where the thread pulls. And I knew it was going to get ruined. And I really love it. So I turned it into an infinity scarf by simply folding that long skinny rectangle in half and sewing it up, and we'll see in a moment how I did the rest of it. The fabric on the right with the shoes, that's a very cute little piece of fabric. And again, I made it, but you know what? It's too full. There's too much fabric going on there on that scarf, particularly because I don't think that's really a scarf that I would wear in winter. It's more a summery, whimsical sort of thing. So I'm going to also, much the same as that scarf in the previous slide, I'm actually going to unpick this. And when I say unpick it, I'm just going to take my rotary cutter and slice the serging off. I'm not going to sit and unpick all that serging. Cut it in half and make 2 scarves out of that same fabric. And that just reduces the volume of the fabric, and it should be really good. All right, so let's talk about your fabric choice and so on. We've talked about the scratchiness. Yes, the fabric is from my stash largely, and yes, it's free. I told my husband that once, and he says, you may pull the wool over some people's eyes, Liz, but you won't pull it over my eyes. But then he's an accountant. I have to get up very early in the morning to catch him on money. Okay, so the hints are not too scratchy. As you can see, both with the coral colored scarf and the African print one, they were a little scratchy. And also, if you are making something that's very synthetic, it may not breathe very well. Now, I don't mind that in the winter, but in the summer, I don't think I would put a scarf around my neck that didn't breathe at all, because I would feel much too hot. Soft rayons, and I'm going to show you those shortly. They are beautiful. Soft rayons are lovely, but they wrinkle and crease like crazy. And if you've twisted your scarf, which I'll show you how to do, it's very hard to iron it. But you know, if you prefer rayon to a polyester chiffon type fabric, great. Silk is fabulous, really wonderful, and it is a natural fiber, but it is on the expensive side. So if your budget stretches to silk, go for it. Mostly the polys and synthetics, those are the ones I tend to use more for the fall and winter. And then winter infinity scarves are so wonderfully warm. You can use wool, or a wool blend. I find pure wool a bit scratchy on my neck, but there are now blends that actually reduce that scratchiness. Bamboo knits are fantastic. They are so soft and warm. Fleece is another option. Minky is another option, but Minky doesn't breathe much. It's very polyester. So bear that in mind if you get sort of hot and bothered around your neck. And then things like French terry and double gauze. I actually will show you one that's double gauze that my daughter gave me. And it was also a long skinny rectangle, and I turned it into infinity scarf. I just find it much easier to wear. And you know, I don't find it gets caught while I'm cooking in the kitchen or on doorknobs and so on. So we've talked about the fabric choice and the size. You're going to need to make sure that the length of the fabric that you cut out will wrap around your head. Now, if you are only going to have it wrap around once, you just need to make sure that it will get over your head without spoiling your hairdo. Okay, or else put it on before you do your hair. All right. If you are going to wrap it around twice, make sure that it gets over your head with ease. And we'll give measurements in a moment. Also, do you want it full and voluminous or longer and wider? So then it would need to be longer and wider. How thick is the fabric? If the fabric's very thick, that will also come into your sort of measuring and figuring out how much fabric you need. And also, what is your preference? Do you like it simple and understated, or do you want your scarf to be the statement piece? That will depend on you. So on that piece that I showed you that I bought in Saskatchewan, that one I measured for you, and it was 36 inches long, so a full yard of fabric on the length, and it was 28 inches wide. Now, that's far too much. So if I unpick that, I could make 2 scarves of 14 inches each, and I am definitely going to do that. The rule of thumb is approximately 28 to 30 inches by 10 inches. And that was actually the measurement on this black and white one. And for me, that is really quite comfortable. I quite like that sizing. All right. And then do you serge it or do you sew it? I tend to serge them, but there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't sew it with your sewing machine. If you choose to do that, maybe you don't have a serger, or maybe you just have got your sewing machine all set up and you don't want to set up the other. All right, so the very first thing is you're going to put that length of fabric, whatever size you decided on, you're going to fold it in half lengthwise. And you are going to make sure that that's right sides together. And then you're going to serge or sew the long edge with raw edges. And so what I'm going to do now is stop sharing. And I am going to go to my camera. And I think what I will do is speak of view. Let me just see. Focus mode. No. Where do I get the spotlighting? I always seem to forget that. Full screen. Okay. I'm guessing it wasn't that. Sorry about this, ladies. And oh, I remember now. There it is. Okay.
Are you taping, Liz?
Yes, it
Okay.
is recording.
Okay.
Yes,
Was
it's
reminding
recording.
you.
No, absolutely, it's recording. So we can switch that off. Right. So here I am at the machine, and this is another piece of fabric that I bought when I was in London. Funny story attached to it. I made my husband and my grandson come with me one very, very, very rainy Saturday. And we went all the way out to the end of one of the tube lines in London because I wanted to go and see a street market there that one of the bloggers that I follow, it's called Did You Make That, is her blog. And I bought this fabric from a gentleman. He's called the man outside Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's is like Safeway. And I bought this fabric from him there. And I left my husband and my grandson in a McDonald's because it was cold and rainy. And I walked to a store at another train station, and it was called Sew Over It. And I also bought fabric there too. That was where I bought that black fabric that was really quite expensive. All right, so I've got it in a long piece. All right, long piece. And I have just put clips every so often along this edge. All right, you can see the clip there. I don't need to put them all at every 2 inches or so. I will tell you that I like to use clips when I am serging. And the reason is because I have had a couple of accidents with pins. And we all know that when we sew over a pin, of course, we've got our blade over here. And that is a really bad thing because it makes nicks in your blade, and then you can be serging along quite happily, and every so often it kind of chomps your fabric. And that is often, not always, but it's often to do with a blade that's been damaged. And there's nothing that you can do in that case. You have to just go and get yourself a new blade. Now, what I have done, and I'll move this here so that you can see, I have got 2 sort of pinky peach colors in my needle and in my upper looper. I only had 2 of these spools. So my third one is a white one, which will be the lower looper. And so I wasn't too worried what that, you know, because that's not really going to be seen. This is all going to be inside. But your needle thread is the one that could be seen through your seam on the right side. So I always try to match my needle thread. In fact, the left needle thread. In this case, it happens to be the right needle because I took, let's do this here, I took the left needle out. So we are going to be doing 3-thread narrow. So I've only got the needles threaded up on the right needle. And the reason for that is because this is a very soft sheer fabric or thin fabric. And I did not want the fabric to bunch up. And I didn't really think that I needed to use a stabilizer and then rip that all off afterwards. So what I did instead was let's wait until I've done a little more and then I will show it to you. And so I'm going along here. I'm not really cutting much of this fabric off, just a little bit. And let me bring it around here and bring it close to the camera so that you can see. There is my 3-thread narrow stitching, and it's looking pretty good. All right. I did play with the tensions a little bit before, actually yesterday, and made sure that I got it to what I wanted it to be. And each time I stop, I just make sure that my edges of the raw edges of my fabric are matching, because it wouldn't be the first time that I have left a little gap. For example, if my underneath piece was to shift like that, I'd be coming along on the top piece over here and I would miss this piece, and then I would have a hole in my scarf and I'd have to go back and fix that. So there's another clip I need to take off and keep going. Now, obviously, because I'm talking to you and stopping and moving fabric, it's taking a little bit of extra time. But I have a class coming up in Saskatchewan at the Saskatchewan Stitches Conference at the end of this month. And I need to be pleating up with my smocking pleater a whole bunch of pieces of fabric, which were about that wide. And so the other day I sat at the serger and I serged with 3-thread wide, actually, on both sides, raw edges. And I did, I think, 10 or 12 of them, super quick. And that's one of the things I really like about a serger, is that it is super quick. So now what we have is we have one long tube of fabric. All right. And what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to move this up so that you can probably see more of what I'm doing. All right. Here is the inside, or the right side of my fabric. So I'm going to reach in and I'm going to go down through the tube to the other side and grab onto that little tail or the end of the serged seam. All right, grab onto that, and I'm going to bring it through the tube. All right, and now I have got my 2 serged seams matching up. All right, matching up over there. But if you were to now close up this tube, and I'll show you how we're going to do that in a moment. If we were to close it up like that, you would simply have one long circle or tube of fabric, a circle, and it wouldn't have that little bit of volume and interest in it. So what I'm going to suggest, this is my preference, you don't have to do it, but I prefer doing it, is I take this inside piece and I turn it around once. In other words, I did a full circumference circle of that and brought it back to the serged seam. So in other words, I've got like a fold or a kind of a tuck in the middle, and you can't see it because it's right inside the scarf. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the machine and I am going to serge around this opening. All right, this is the opening of where I pulled the other tube through. Okay, but I need to leave an opening so that I can turn the scarf out to the right side, because here is my serged seam and that's the wrong side. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to put it underneath the foot of the machine, and I am going to go serging around. And why I put that clip there was so that my the seams, on the one end and the other end, are matching, because you might see that on the scarf. Most times I tuck it at the back of my neck and you can't see it. So don't go too far around the circle, because you do want to have enough of an opening that you can actually pull it through to the right side. So let's just see where we are. I think I can go a little more. And let me bring the camera a little bit closer so that you can see. I'll tell you, when I set up this morning, I actually needed to have a light. But now it's gone overcast and I don't need the light. So I'm thinking maybe just a tiny little bit more, and then I simply move my fabric over to the left and I serge or chain off the edge. So now you can see that I have an opening over here, but the rest of my tube has been stitched with my 3-thread narrow. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to open this up and I'm going to push the whole scarf through that hole. And then I'm going to keep pulling it like this. And do you see now I've turned it to the right side? And once again, I think we move the camera up so that we can see more of what I'm doing. So there it is. It's turned out to the right side. And I now have this little opening that needs to be closed. And what I like to do here is I like to sort of fold it over and just finger press it. If you're at your ironing board, my ironing board has got the camera on it right now, so I'm not going to iron and have the camera fall over or something funny like that. So I'm just finger pressing it, and I'm going to get a couple of clips and turn those little finger pressed raw edges to the inside and put a clip on. Now, there are various ways that you can close this opening. You can just do a little slip stitch. That's probably the neatest, not necessarily the quickest way of doing it, but if you want it to be almost invisible, then you can certainly slip stitch that closed. And I do sometimes like to do stitching like that when I am sitting watching TV at night. So if you want to do that, feel free. The other way is I could, at this stage, come back to the serger and I could just run that through and have a serged edge there, but I really don't like that method. What I will do, and I won't do it now because I don't have the machine set up with the camera, but I will come along and I will just do a little straight stitch, almost like a top stitching, right along the edge of that opening. And I will make sure that I do it in a nice peach colored or cream colored thread so that it is almost invisible. All right, and then there is my infinity scarf. And I am going to put the camera back on, my webcam back on, so that you can see. All right, there it is. And it is not, this one is not going to go twice around my neck. I deliberately did that because this is summer colors. This is not really winter colors for me. And I know that if I had to do it again around my neck, I would feel like I was far, far too hot. And it would remind me of that very nasty heat dome we had last year. So this is just going to be hanging around my neck, not making me hot, over a pretty little cream or white or apricot colored t-shirt or something like that. Right. So that is how to make the infinity scarf.
That is a great.
Sorry, have we got some questions?
Oh, it's just Karen just commenting. It's a great color on you. Like it's just, it's really, yeah.
You think so? It's not a color I wear very often, but we'll see. Okay, thanks, Karen. So I went into town, and you can scribble this down. I didn't put it on the PowerPoint, but there is a place that has become one of my favorite places to go. And they actually advertised a post this week, and a job this week. And I thought, oh, should I apply? But then when I read the specifications for the job, it's for a government grant, and it's giving employment to young people. So you have to be between the age of 18 and 30. I'm not eligible. In any event, this store is one of those, it's an eco-friendly business where they're trying to keep fabric out of the landfill. So they get dead stock fabric from garment manufacturers and textile manufacturers. And it's called Fab Cycle. So FAB and Cycle. And some of their fabric is cheaper than retail, but quite a lot of it is much the same price as retail. And they have a lot of donations. So they've got vintage fabric and so on. And they just are two very fun ladies that I've got to know fairly well. So if you're interested in that, just go to, you can go to their Facebook page, and their website is fabcycle.shop. And you can purchase, and if you buy something that's, you spend $100 or more, it's free shipping. So it doesn't matter if you live in Ontario, they'll ship it to you for free, which is pretty cool. So I was there last week, and I bought this Pinup Girls fabric. And I just think it is such fun. And it's a little bit of a sad story there, because I bought 1/2 meter of the blue background and 1/2 meter of a sort of lovely teal green background. And I took the SkyTrain and took buses downtown to try and save gas, because it costs a bomb to take my car into town. And I lost the green fabric. So I guess it fell out somewhere on my travels that day. But I have enough fabric here to make 2 infinity scarves. So this will be one for me, and the other half piece of that 1/2 meter, because you don't really need an awful lot. So I took that 1/2 meter and I cut it in half and made 2. So this is up for grabs today. So if you happen to like these Pinup Girls, all right, I think it's really quite fun. All right, and it's a lovely soft polyester chiffon. If you fancy that fabric for a scarf, I will ship it to you for free. And all you need to do is put a post on my Facebook group, Sew with Liz Facebook group. If you're not a member, don't worry, ask to join and I'll let you in. And I just want you to put in something on that Facebook group to say what you would wear this with. All right, tell me what you would wear it with. And if you've got a garment or something already made, just put a photograph of that in as well. All right, but all you really need to do is tell me what you would wear this with. All right, because it's got so many different colors in it, I think there's lots of possibilities there. And then what I will do is everybody that comments, let's say by the, I need to give people time to watch the video that aren't here today. So let's say by the 20th of May. Everybody that comments by the 20th of May, I'll put your names in my glass jar and I'll pull it, and whoever's name gets pulled will get that Pinup Girls chiffon fabric. Okay, so now what I want to do is show you a bunch more things. By the way, there is the shirt that I made, the girly top. And here is some rayon fabric that I bought. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it is very creased. All right, there you can probably see the creases even more. All right, can you see that it's rather creased? It also was not color fast. Oh my goodness. And my husband, I threw it in the wash and we ended up with pink underwear because, and I think a towel turned a bit of a pink color. So I don't wear this terribly often. It's also sort of kind of quite tight, but that was the piece of fabric I had. So it's lovely, it's soft, but it does crease. So if you don't like things creased, which I don't like, some people don't mind it, but I do. I wouldn't suggest rayon, pure rayon. Here's another one. And can you see all the creases on it? Beautiful colors. I love these colors, but it's very creased. So that's just something to remember with rayon fabrics. And then I want to pull some more things here. You've seen this one. All right. And this one, actually, let's do another giveaway. This one is too wide. All right. If I measure it here, it is 13 inch. Yeah, 30. It's 26 inches wide. And we really, as we saw earlier, we do not need that amount of fabric. So what I will do is I will cut this one in half, keep half for myself and remake the scarf. And then this fun shoe fabric will also be available. So maybe what you should do when you put something on the Facebook group is tell me whether you want the pinup girls or the shoes. All right. And I will pick names out of the hat. And so there'll be 2 lots of scarf fabric going up for grabs. All right. Now, this one is one that my daughter gave me, and it's a rather nice scarf. And this one was another one of those ones that kept catching on door handles and in the car door when I got into the car and stupid stuff like that. So I turned it into an infinity scarf, and it really is quite nice. And it's a sort of like a brushed cottony feel. I'm sure there's some polyester in it, but it really is quite nice. And you can position it, and it's very versatile. It goes with lots of different things. So if you have one of those long scarves that keeps catching on things, you can turn it into infinity scarf. And then this is another one that my daughter gave me, and it is a sort of like a double gauze. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, maybe not. She really is a very good gift giver. She always seems to know the kind of things that her mother would like. And so this one was a very long scarf. I think I could have actually wrapped myself in it. There was so much fabric. And I also cut it in half and made it into an infinity scarf. And this one is more something that I would probably wear in the winter. All right. And it's got lovely colors, goes with black, brown, all sorts of other colors. Okay. You've seen this one on the PowerPoint, so I don't need to show you that. And this one is the one that I really absolutely love. And I try to wear it as often as I can, seeing as it was so much money. The fabric was so expensive, but that's just me. I shouldn't worry. There's the scratchy one. All right. Can you see the little bits of metallic? Avoid that if possible, because it does tend to be a little scratchy. And then this one was a piece of fabric that I picked up. I'm trying to remember now where I picked it up. I think it might have been at Fab Cycle. Or the other store that Karen actually introduced me to. It's also downtown Vancouver. And I do believe they will ship to you as well. I don't know if they have free shipping. And that one is called Our Social Fabric. And I think it's oursocialfabric.ca. And they are doing a very similar thing to Fab Cycle. And trust me, it's too far to walk between the two. But I've taken the bus, and it only takes about 5 minutes on the bus. So they're both down in the sort of eastern side of downtown Vancouver, but a little bit away. The one at Fab Cycle's in Chinatown, and the other one is a little bit over on the corner of Clark and Venables. Okay, but if you want more details, just email me and I'll tell you where to go. So I picked this up at one of them, and I absolutely love it. It's black with red dots and quite striking. And it's, again, a lovely scarf that you can wear in the winter months when you want to, I don't know if you like me, but I wear a lot of black. And so you want something to brighten up that black. And it is a lovely, soft, it's polyester. I'm sure it's polyester, but it's kind of like a satin. And so when you're on your rounds and abouts, you do not need a lot of fabric for an infinity scarf. And you can get those measurements on the PowerPoint when you get the video. So back to sharing my screen. And we'll move on to questions. Anybody got any questions about anything that I have said at this point? Okay, so Bob says, with your expensive scarf, divide the number of wearings into the cost of the scarf, and in the end, it'll be very inexpensive. Yeah, you're right. You're right. In fact, somebody was just saying the other day on one of the Facebook groups or whatever, and was saying that we should be buying much better quality clothing that lasts much longer, instead of cheap stuff that is just the latest trend and then we just toss it, because we are all trying to be a lot more eco-friendly. And so Bob, you're quite right. I'll probably get much more wear out of it because it was more expensive and it'll last longer. Anybody got any questions?
I do, Liz. I have a question about the smoothie panty.
Yes.
In terms of sizing, it comes small, medium, and large,
Yes.
and then extra large and something else.
Yeah, extra large 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think.
Okay, is it a true to size? Like
Yes.
I wear like a size, I wear a medium size 6 to 7 in a panty.
Right.
So small, medium, large would fit me.
You just grab my pattern. I hope it's here. Yes, it is. In the drawer down next to me. So let me just pull it out. Okay. She actually has her sizing on the front of the pattern. And the small, do you want hip or waist measurement?
They're probably about the same.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Yeah.
For me too. I don't have a tiny waist.
No.
On the website, on my website, under the panty class, I did take a sort of screenshot of the pattern measurements, and it's there amongst the pictures on that one. But for example, medium is what I used to cut out. That I don't cut out the medium anymore. The medium was 36 to 37 inches, and it worked really well for a while, but now I seem to have got a little larger. And so the large for me is 38, that the inches for the hip there are 38 to 40. And then your extra large 41 to 43. Now, having said that, I'm not going to get hung up on those numbers, because I've made so many panties. In fact, I counted yesterday how many panties I now have in my panty drawer. Do you want to know?
No.
2 pairs of panties. If my husband knew, he would shake his head. But I'm having so much fun. And what I've learned is that the fabric choice is really quite important. So if I'm making something with a very stretchy bamboo knit, and you know how to check for the stretch on knits, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm using a very soft, stretchy bamboo knit, I am not going to make that extra large, because it's going to fall off my hips. All right, it's going to be much too big. So then I would probably, well, I will make the large for a soft bamboo knit. But there are, and I'll grab it. It's just over here. Just give me 1 second. I made these ones yesterday, and we'll get them up the right way. All right, I made these yesterday, and this is a scuba. All right, so I didn't have very much left. That's why there is a center front seam and there is a center back seam. It was a border print, so the back has not got as many flowers, but this one is nowhere near as stretchy as the bamboo knit. Or if you were to maybe make a swimsuit pants, swimsuit bottoms, and you were using a very firm lycra, I would probably then for sure go to the extra large one, because I don't want my swimsuit to be constricting me so that I feel like I'm in a corset or something. All right, so if the fabric is very stretchy, maybe go down a size. If the fabric is not so stretchy, then go up a size. So this one I actually made with the extra large, and it fits me, but it could have been a teeny bit smaller. So, I mean, I can certainly wear it. It's not going to fall off me. But what I should maybe have done was maybe make my fold over elastic just a little tighter, and then it would have been 100% fine. Normally,
So I would probably have to buy both sizes in the pattern.
no, the
because
pattern
one-
comes with all the sizes.
Oh, it comes with all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
There it is. Comes with small all the way to extra large 4.
Okay, so on your website, if I order the panty class,
Yep.
I either have to order for the small, medium, large, or the extra large. Is that just for the fabric?
That was just for the fabric. Yes. Sorry
Okay.
if there was confusion. The pattern,
Okay.
you'll trace off whatever size you want. So I
Okay.
now actually have got medium, large, and extra large 1 traced off for me.
Okay,
But if you buy the small panty kit, then you might not have enough to make, let's say, an extra large.
right.
All right, but I'll double check that. If you let me know what size you want to make, then I will just make sure that there's enough there for you. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So there you go. Any more questions from any more people? Did I answer that fully, Anne?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Liz. I did put a question on the chat. Does 100% cotton work well for a scarf?
For a scarf,
Yeah. Does it?
Not
crease-
too good.
Not so
no,
good?
100% cotton. Are you talking a woven or a knit?
The
both.
quilting cottons, the quilting
Oh.
cotton.
Quilting cotton, it will certainly work. However, remember that it is going to crease. Maybe not as badly as rayon, but it
Okay.
will crease. And it won't have stretch. But then a lot of the fabrics that I used and showed you today don't have stretch. They're wovens.
Okay.
So it definitely, yes, you could use a quilting cotton, no problem.
What I'm saying is I made one out of t-shirt fabric,
Yeah,
the cotton t-shirts, and it works, but it isn't as nice as the ones you made.
okay. I tend, there are some people who really don't like polyester fabrics around them. They just, it makes them itchy, or they just don't like the feel of it. Then for sure, go for a natural fabric. But just make sure it's got drape. If something is too stiff, it's going to stand up like Elizabeth I's collar, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
That's what quilting cotton might do.
It might be a little
That's what
stiff.
I wondered about, the
Yeah.
stiffness.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to try it, and
Yeah.
because
But
quilting
there's no
cotton,
reason why you can't use a cotton knit,
Yeah.
because that's going to be more soft and drapey. So if you want the natural fiber, don't use a quilting cotton that's a woven, use a knit,
Okay,
or go with a bamboo knit. That is just,
that would be lovely.
it's heavenly. It's so soft. You just won't want to take that scarf off. It's going to feel so fabulous.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. So let's go back to the screen. And if anybody else has got any more questions, please feel free to chip in. There we were talking about the panty class. I have got the purple. There's a bunch of different kits there. The purple stretch lace is one of them. There's the bamboo knit. Oh, it is spectacular. And I used a fold over elastic here, but I do believe the kit has the nice knitted elastic that you put inside the fabric and then fold it over. So you do 2 passes of elastic. So it won't look exactly the same as this, but the bamboo fabric is just so wonderful. And I'm going to show you. No, there's something in the way, so I won't show you, but I've got tons of it. I bought lots of it.
the same
One kit-
fabric as in the picture.
Sorry?
The same fabric as in the picture.
Yes, yes. In fact,
Love
what we can do is I am going to just go here to my screen, and let's go here to this one and share. And I'm going to go to, actually, that's not what I want. Let me go here. I need to get this out of the way. All right, so if we go to my website, all right, and we go to lingerie kits, and you can see this on your screen, can't you? Am I correct?
No,
Okay.
Not
No.
sure.
You
I'm
can't see it
seeing
on the screen?
the red striped t-shirt and the,
Okay, so let's go to share screen. There we are. Okay, wrong one. Okay, can you see it now?
yeah,
With
yeah.
lingerie kits. So if you go down here, you will see that you can buy panty kits from me, just the panty kit if that's what you want, which is the fabric and the elastic. But if you want to make the class one, I've got a lot of different kits here. So let's go here. We've got the large stretch lace one. And we've got a, there's the large purple lace one. All right. And we've got, where's the bamboo? Is the bamboo here? I thought I'd put it here. If you want the bamboo, just drop me a note. But I know that I've got the bamboo in the other one. So that's easier. There you go. All right. There's the bamboo. In the panty kit. So if you want the bamboo in the class one, Anne, just let me know and I'll substitute, no problem. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
But I've also got mesh, polka dot mesh in purple and red. And I've got poly spandex ecru with cream stretch lace. And I've also got black with the black and white stretched mesh. I think, Doris, you made that with your bralette.
Yes, that's correct.
So you could have a panty to match now. Okay, so let's go back to screen sharing and back to here. And now let's see what else we've got. And before I right, where were we? We were over here. All right, the panty class we were talking about. Were there any more questions on the panty class? And the discount, you're getting $20 off the class, so long as you sign up by the 20th of May. All right, and then also I have a special now. So if you were to buy just the panty kit and not the class, or any other supplies, maybe you need hooks and eyes or you need elastic or something like that, you will get 15% off when you buy $30 or more. And by the way, if you do buy the bamboo fabric and you want this lovely soft Pico elastic to match, I've got that available as well. I'm pretty sure there it is in the picture at the bottom. I have listed that Pico elastic separately. All right.
Is that the bra that we made in class?
This one is the mint and gold mesh is the Barrett bralette.
Okay, and the
and
one,
there's a little bit of a story there, because I made that and I used a sort of, what was it now? I can't remember. Some sort of a lining fabric. I think it was like a swimsuit lining underneath. And it didn't really fit me. Because the lining was not as stretchy as that mesh. So I got little wrinkles in the mesh on the top and it was kind of flattening me. So I just took the bull by the horns and I cut the lining away completely, very carefully, because if you cut the mesh, you'll have a hole. And it is now very sheer. You can see right through it. But what the hell? Nobody but me sees my underwear anyhow, so I don't really mind. And it now fits me and it is so comfortable. And I've just made a pair of panties to match, but I did line the panties front and back with a lovely cream cotton knit. But this one over here with the bamboo fabric, the lemon and gray, it's called Berries and Leaves. That one is the Watson bra. It's also a bralette because there are no wires. You can put channeling on if you want to firm up the support a bit. I haven't tried to put wires in, but I don't see why I couldn't. Maybe I'll try one and put wires in. But for now, this one is probably one of my most comfortable bras. Unfortunately, this lady does not allow me to use her pattern for classes. She's just got this strange policy. She wants to teach this bra and she won't let anybody else teach it. But you can purchase the pattern off her website. It's called The Cloth Habit, CLOTH Habit. And it is the Watson bra, and you get a pair of bikini panties pattern as well with the pattern. And I think the Watson bra is my favorite bralette at this time. No doubt it'll change at some point. And I think I've made of the Barrett bralettes, I've now made about 14 or 15 of them. And I like it, but I prefer the Watson bra. It's more, it gives a little more support. And it's a better shape for me. All right, any other questions?
Yeah, Liz, I purchased the pattern for the Watson bra
It's lovely. I love it.
and I haven't made it yet,
Right.
but it has pages and pages of
Yes.
lessons and instructions to go with it.
Correct. She gives some wonderful tips about what fabric to choose, you know,
Yes.
in terms of if you're going to choose this type of stretch knit, how will you deal with the pattern? And if you're going to use something different, for example, I've used that pattern to make the Lycra swimsuits, and Lycra and that bamboo knit are two entirely different animals as regards stretch. So you need to bear that in mind. Otherwise you'll find that your swimsuit will be too tiny and you'll be popping out the top of it. Do you know what I mean? So those are the considerations. And she does give very good instructions. You're right.
And Liz, if we choose to do the panty class at the $20 off and we'll have bra supplies as well,
Yeah.
we can't put 2 codes in as we check out, can we?
Just send me a note ahead of time and I'll make a plan for you.
Okay.
I'll change the criteria on the discounts. Yeah, I'm very open, no problem.
Okay.
All right. And obviously when I'm shipping stuff, let me just stop sharing my screen for a moment. When I'm shipping stuff, I try really hard to give you the cheapest shipping that I can. But unfortunately, you know, in fact, I've got it. Let me just get it for you. One sec. My friend Karen gave me this sort of, what do you call it, poster board or something like that. And I cut a slot in it. So now when I am going to take something to the post office, if it fits through there, then I know that it will go as letter mail.
Right.
And the other day, somebody ordered something from me and several things, and I just could not get it through that slot. So what I did was I experimented and I split her order into 2 letter mail envelopes, you know, those big brown envelopes, and both of them would fit through. And it still went as letter mail. So it was like about $7 or $8 to send it. If I had put that in a parcel, it would have been $17. So I just don't know how Canada Post figures all this out. But if you want something, I will split it into more than 1 letter mail envelope if it's going to be cheaper for you. But I also use those flat rate boxes from Canada Post, and it's, I think, $19 or $20. Just look at my website, and whatever I can squeeze into that box, so long as it's not more than 5 kilograms, it will go for that flat rate. So that's also another way to do it. But again, you wouldn't order one tiny little thing and put it in a flat rate box because that's not economically feasible. But if you're in doubt, just send me an email before you check out and we'll we'll work it out the best that we can. Okay. All right, so we are over here, and I want to go to the next slide. And thank everybody for all your lovely entries. Now, on the left is a quilt that one of the ladies made and put on the Facebook group. And then Penny in New Brunswick made this one with the lemons. And this one here, she's not with us today because she's on a wonderful Alaskan cruise, but Kay made that one. And then also she's not with us today, but she wanted to be. This is Sharon from Saskatchewan. So thank you so much, everybody, for making things that I show in the class. I'm hoping to see lots and lots of infinity scarves. I think that would be an awful lot of fun. All right, sorry, we went backwards there. And so who is going to be our April winner? Now, last month, somebody chose the thread snips, the rainbow thread snips. So what we have available this month is the rotary cutting blade, and it's a 45mm blade, or the little rainbow thread scissors or embroidery scissors, and a package of pre-wound bobbins. So let's just check that there is anything else. Nope. Let's go back to here, and I think as well we're going to do gallery view. All right, so there are the little rainbow scissors, and here is my big glass jar. So I'm going to give it a good shake without letting it go and having it shatter all over the place. And we will see who is the winner today. Penny McIntyre. She's the one that made that little humbug bag in New Brunswick. So I will get hold of Penny and find out what she wants. And don't forget that you are going to, there's two things up for grabs. There is the Pinup Girls, and there is this, and there will be the prize for next time. But what I do need to say is there won't be a Sew with Liz Club in June, because I have two conferences back to back, and I just kind of, I'm feeling like I don't think I can get it all done. And I'm also starting to prepare for the bra, International Bra Bee in August. So if anybody's interested in that, please ask me questions. I'm going to be teaching a class there, and last year I attended, and it was one of the best sewing things I had ever attended. The value for money was incredible, depending on which package you buy. So if you're interested in that, just go to brasewingbee.com. They haven't started registration yet. I believe that is starting beginning of next month, but all the information is there as to what classes you can take. You'll see my class there. Just this week, I had to sign my contract and do all that kind of stuff. So I've got a lot on my plate. However, we'll be back in July. And I'd love you to suggest things that you want to learn about, because I just thought you might like to learn about the infinity scarf. I'm hoping you enjoyed that, but there might be other things that you'd rather hear about. So just let me know, and then I will try and prep accordingly. All right. So what next? Let's just see the last screen on my PowerPoint. Okay. As I said to you, there won't be a club next month, but I'll be back in July, Wednesday, the 6th of July, and I will remind you all. And this time I sent out a reminder to everybody that has either subscribed to my website or ordered from my website, whether it was something free or something you purchased. I sent to everybody. And I just find that the easiest to go through that. But if you want to be added, just go to my website and subscribe, and then I will see your names there. And I was thinking that it might be fun to do some ice dyeing in the summer, an ice dyeing class. So if you think that might be something that you'd like to do, let me know. And then maybe you'd like to make a nice t-shirt for the summer. You don't have to use the girly top. I've got other tops that I've downloaded free patterns for, and I'm happy to share those patterns with you, or share where you can get those patterns, and we could make a simple t-shirt together. Some of you might even be doing the Jolly Jamboree class with me at the Saskatchewan Stitches Conference. Maybe
I am.
you are, Cheryl.
Yeah, I'm doing it
Okay.
again.
Do you know
It was
what
just
you're
a-
going to make?
I'm going to make a couple of t-shirts. I think that's what I really, really need.
Okay, so you won't need to come in on this t-shirt thing then, because we will have done it at conference.
Well, no, I'll do it on this one too.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
In
And
fact, I've got a
then,
t-shirt on the go.
Okay.
I think I'm sitting on it right here.
okay, I will tell you that I've got 2 cut out on my table. Oh, let's have a look.
Oh, these are the scraps. I guess the t-shirts by my surgery, but this is what it's going to be made
Oh,
of.
gray and black stripes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And it's just like, I wear cotton t-shirts. I just find them the most comfortable,
Yeah,
even though they do look kind of sad after you wash them several times, but
yes,
I wear them anyway.
yeah.
Like
And by the
this one
way,
here.
if you wear cotton t-shirts and bamboo t-shirts, and you're at all like me or my husband, and you get little spots on the front because you're cooking in the kitchen, or you drop some of your dinner on your chest, because we eat.
Oh, I
at the
drop it all the
TV.
time.
Do you know what really, really works to get those marks out? Dawn dishwashing liquid.
I was just gonna say that. If I
You
spill
know the
something,
ads
I
where they
go to the
use
sink and I
Dawn?
rub it on with my finger, just like.
Yeah, Dawn they've used to wash those birds that got covered in oil.
Yeah,
And I suddenly thought one day, I thought, I wonder if a little bit of Dawn would remove that grease spot or sort of slightly oily mark that didn't come out in the wash. So help me, it did.
but what
So-
it doesn't remove is, you know how when you spray your stuff with 505 or artistic,
Yes,
whatever it's called, and you get it on your fingers?
Yes.
It doesn't take it off your
it
fingers.
doesn't.
No,
Wow.
you know,
Okay.
like, it goes off after a little while, but it's very irritating to have that sticky.
Yep. So there we are. There's some ideas. Maybe you want to make a swimsuit. You want some ideas about making a swimsuit? Let me know. I have got very daring because I kind of am at that age where I think, oh, I can't do that. I'm too old. And then I had a good talking to myself, and I thought, you know what? You're only as old as your head says you are. So I actually wore a bikini when I was in Mexico for the first time in about 20 years. And shall I tell you something? I looked pretty good compared to a lot of people there, much younger than me. So you know what? If you want to make a bikini, feel free. But I've also got lovely tankinis that I wear. I don't like full piece swimsuits because going to the washroom is then a real pain. So I like to, have a tankini top that hangs over, basically like a tank top. And then, the full pants or the bikini pants underneath that tankini. So you can let me know and we can choose patterns, and you don't all have to be making the same thing. And we can do that for the summer as well.
If you're wearing a tankini, I'm here to tell you that you don't want to slide off of a raft boat that's being pulled behind the boat.
Right. No. But there
It
was
happened to
something
me.
I saw where
didn't-
you
I
can
didn't lose the
actually put
bottom,
a
but
little
almost.
tie on the side of the tankini and a tie on the pants. And so when you're going to go in the water, you just tie a little bow on each hip. And then
Okay.
that won't happen.
Well, I didn't lose it, but it felt like I was going to.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing and let's see if I can get everybody back. I just need to stop highlighting.
I have one
myself.
last question, Liz.
Yeah.
For the homemade that you're doing with Jen Tryon,
Yes.
you're doing the cover stitch. Is there a
Yes.
project involved with that?
Yes.
And what is it?
Let me see if I.
Is it the Janie top?
It's a jolly top, yes.
Jolly top? Okay.
Let me see if I know where I've got it.
I think I've seen it on the website.
Yeah, it is on the website.
yeah.
And it's, I do believe it's also on the Facebook group. If it's not, I'll put it there.
This
She's
is very-
giving you lovely black rayon knit.
Okay.
And it was really hard on the camera. The poor
bet it
camera
was.
girl really struggled. But it's a black rayon knit, and it's a Jali top that's got this twist, and
In the
it's
front.
reversible, so you can wear the twist at the front or the twist at the back.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what I'll be doing, but I'm also going to be doing an overview at the beginning of a serger, like what are the buttons and knobs and hints and tips
Right.
about getting your
Right.
tension right.
Yeah.
And also for the cover hem. So
Well,
that
I'm
it's going to be, and the other section was how to lay out your pattern and cut it. So you'll get to do that before the homemade event.
well, I'm waiting impatiently for my box to come.
Oh, you might have to wait a little longer.
I know she
Because-
doesn't have the boxes.
Yeah, that's one thing, but also I offered her when I was there in Toronto, I offered her a whole lot of little pieces of knit fabric packed into little kits that I actually used at the Saskatchewan Stitches conference last year. And she's been so busy. She's been absolutely swamped, and she
Mhm.
forgot to send me the shipping label. And I reminded her yesterday, and she went into panic mode because that's got to go in your box. And so she sent me the FedEx overnight, and I got dropped at FedEx this morning. So she'll get that tomorrow. And then as soon as she's got the boxes, she'll have everything to ship out to you guys. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
quite a logistical
It's quite the
thing.
event.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, any other questions, ladies?
No, I'm good. I'll see you and ask questions in June or May or whatever day that class is. I can't remember.
Yes, Mary Ellen says homemade is the best event. Yeah, I do believe that it's the weekend of 14th, 15th of May. Am I correct? Gee, she's gonna have to send
It's a
those
week.
boxes out really quickly.
Yeah, last year the classes started on the Tuesday, so they would
Yeah.
start like next Tuesday.
Yes,
But we had our boxes 3 or 4 weeks in
yeah,
advance.
yeah.
So
Right.
I don't know that it's going to happen on the same dates.
Maybe not.
Maybe
But
not.
I've put aside that weekend, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to attend some of the things. I don't have the box, but I will also obviously be there for the question time, the live question time,
Right.
when we do the surges and so on. And then I do believe, unless she changes the date, that May 26th is the launch of the bra making and the panty making. And while I was there, we also filmed me for a wired bra. So
Oh,
that's coming
okay.
in later in July.
Okay.
So lots of fun, lots of creating, lots of sewing.
Yes.
Okay, ladies, any other questions? Anything you want to share, show? What have you got there, Carol? Have you got something to show us?
No, I'm just putting a label on a quilt that's going for a wedding gift.
Oh, how wonderful. I have to make a quilt. Oh, wonderful. Look at that.
Unfinished.
Excellent. And that's the Barrett bralette.
Yes.
Okay. And you find them comfortable?
What I've been doing is I've been turning the elastic under, and I
Yes.
think it's shortening the cup too much. So
Oh,
this one, I'm going to have the elastic under, like lower.
right.
So we'll
Right.
see how that one works out.
And I will tell you as well that when I am, Mary Ellen says that the bras and panties are beautiful, but the bras are for a mastectomy person. So I think she buys those somewhere else. Now, I am very short-waisted, and boy, did I know that when I was pregnant with both my kids, because there just never was enough room below my ribs. And I've noticed over the years that my band, whether it's a wired bra or a bralette, it rolls, it rolls outwards, and then it starts digging into me later in the day. So one of the bra bee teachers, she's actually in Ontario in Burlington, and she makes custom bras. she suggested to me that I should probably think of a partial band bra, where your band, let's see which way is the easiest to do it. Your band stops over here where it comes from the back, and then over here in the center, the band is actually only on that center part on the bridge. And then below the actual boobs, you literally have the wire in the channeling. That's all you have. And so I took one of my bras and I unpicked it literally from the hook and eye to the, right across the band, and undid all that elastic, and I cut it and then it had no elastic under the band. And all right, it was sort of like a fix-it job, but it fits a little bit better. Now, when it comes to the bralettes, I'm finding, I thought the longer your band, the wider your band, that would be worse for me. Actually, it's not. The wider the band, the better it is. And so that's why I went to the Watson bra, and I'd never fancied a long line bra where it comes down much longer onto your ribs. And I made one, and that's that bamboo one that you saw, the soft yellow one. Oh, it is so comfortable. And then I've just got regular Pico elastic at the bottom of the long line. So I've now made another one, and I'm also looking for much wider, maybe sort of 2 to 3 inch elastic to put on the bottom of, let's say, the Barrett bralette. And then nothing gets turned under, it just sits on the ribs. And provided you've got it not too tight and also not too loose, because if it's too loose, then you've got no support. Then that might actually work really well too, especially for people that find that it's curling and they don't like it. Okay.
Lots of experimenting.
Yes. And that's what that I see on the Facebook groups, that a lot of people complain about that. Oh, it's such a performance to get a bra that fits you. But I think it's really quite exciting, because I've discovered all sorts of things on my bra making journey, especially since the Bra Bee last year, because for years I basically put my bra making on a back burner because I never ever had any time while I was with Janome. And now I have the time, and I have had so much fun experimenting, trying this. Yes, maybe it works, but it could be tweaked another way. And I've taken a whole lot of bras out of my drawer and I've tweaked them, and now they fit. So it's really, really good. Carol, is that the back of the quilt or the front of the quilt?
The back.
Lovely. And what does the front look like?
It's actually the quilt that I made last year with Jen.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the front is
Oh, right. What was it called again?
Lottie's Scrappy.
That's right. That's right. What a fabulous wedding gift.
Yeah. Actually, it's a friend of mine, her granddaughter, and she saw it and she just fell in love with it. And she said, "Will you sell it to me?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." I finally relented, so I'm just putting the label on for her.
Oh, well, you are a very, very special person to give a gift like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm interested in the bras, but I can't wear anything with it like the normal lace strap. I have a pacemaker. And
Okay.
ears with that, so I've got get bras that have more of the stretchy material.
Yeah, that's where bralette would probably be really good for you.
Yeah, but can you do it without how could you do it without the lace strap? You know
You
what
mean
I mean?
elastic strap?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You have
So
to put elastic in
what
the
do you
back,
currently do?
I've been buying ones that are basically they're the same material that go up and go. It's from the up part right up, the same
In
material.
other words, using the same as the cup.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, you can do that. I've done that several times.
Well, see, like I make Beverly Johnson's ones and
Yes.
you just use fabric till the back where
Yes,
you've got all your findings. And that's where the elastic goes into that
Correct.
background rounded section.
correct. And
Oh, yeah.
Carol, what you could do is you could reinforce, if it was, let's say, that very stretchy bamboo, that might be too elastic here where it goes over the shoulders. You could reinforce it inside with something like an interfacing, or you could leave it stretchy and then down the back, you could have a sort of fairly firm elastic to attach to the back band. So it's quite doable, yes.
Because I find like the elastic cuts into it and it's just, the pacemaker is just right where the straps go.
On the front.
Yeah.
Okay, no,
Weren't-
but
they
then,
weren't very
then
nice to you.
you would make sure that you had lovely soft fabric there that wouldn't interfere.
I'll have to think about that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
basically you would be trying to mimic what you're currently wearing.
Right.
But I mean, obviously I made a wired bra the other day and I just made a wired bra for my daughter, which she's very thrilled with. And I will make more wired bras for myself, but honestly, for everyday wearing and for traveling on long distance flights, I will never, ever wear a wired bra again. It's so comfortable. Those bralettes are absolutely amazing,
I still have to make
especially
the
that
first one.
Watson. Okay, any more questions from anyone, or can we call it a day?
I think we can call it a day.
Mhm.
Okay, because I
Sounds
know
good.
it's later for some of you ladies.
Well, yeah.
It's afternoon tea time for me. Well, is it? No, it's almost supper time for me. Okay, ladies, thank you so much. And I will see you all again. I'll remind you all 6th of July. Okay,
Okay.
Thank you, Liz.
you're
Thanks.
very welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.